Hello crafters, thank you so much for stopping by. I am so excited to show you this really cute page that I put together while I was at a scrapbook retreat a couple of weeks ago. And this is the Carte Noir black, and it has gold accents. And let me tell you about this gorgeous page. So I put it together while I was at a retreat, and I used the temporary adhesive repositionable dots because I thought that way I can still put it together but then come back and take it apart and show you how I put it together. So I'm going to take measurements and we'll start working in that direction, okay? Thank you so much for being here, and I am so appreciate you being here with me. Please subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, and talk to me. I love talking to you all. So I'm going to take this apart, and we are going to start with the bottom page. Do you see how I did this? And my repositionable tape is working like I'm so excited. Okay, so this is the black with this gorgeous little curls on it and kind of like little medallions, and then the black dots. So you can decide what colors you want on what side. I knew that we were going to end up covering up the middles, so I thought let's use some gold, and I always like to have gold as a frame. I just think it looks really pretty. So let me give you measurements because that's important. So this is going to be a cutout of 1.5 inches. Now I've shown you before how we cut out the inside, and all I did here was cut out the inside and then flip it over. So it's one piece of paper. Is that not the best thing ever? So one piece of paper is going to make one page. So if you have a scrap piece of paper and you want to add more pictures, this is perfect. One piece of paper, 6 gorgeous pictures, put some little embellishments on the side, and you're set. So this is the base of our project. Okay, and then here we go. We're going to take the next one apart. And I will tell you, this was kind of an experiment for me while I was doing this. So it's funny what you learn to do when you don't have your room. Okay, so now here I have the floral paper, and then on the back you see kind of a pink purple medallion here. Okay, so this page here, this gold and black is a perfect 12 by 12 paper, and this one we have cut, and it is at 10.5. So it is a 10.5 perfect square going all the way around it, okay? Now I messed up on this because I made it smaller, and then I went back and glued it. I said, that's okay. Look, see how right here, there is a little 1/4 of an inch here, and I just went right back and made it sit just perfectly. When you add more embellishments, it's gonna be fine. So here is the 10.5 square. So on the circle, this might be a little funny, but on the circle, I was at a retreat, somebody else's B&B, so Airbnb. So I used a plate that I found, a top of a pan. So I did not have my Cricut with me, and I didn't want to ask somebody else to make me a circle. You know, everybody's there doing their own thing, so I didn't want to bother. So I walked around the place and found a plate. This is 7.5 is what my circle ends up being. And on the sides, I have 1.5. And I kind of did when I was measuring my plate to cut, I drew it with a pencil. Scary, scary. And then guess what? I used my X-Acto knife. This is not absolutely perfect, but it will do because we're there to have fun and play with our friends. And so this is what I did, okay? So this is the first base that goes. And then, of course, this trim is our trim that we have from our scrapbook crop at home. And I cut it in half, okay? So cutting it in half makes it really go farther. You can see that you just need 2 strips to get all the way around the corner. So this is our base here. And we are going again, I'm telling you again, it is 10.5, this page. Okay, and then you add the little trim to it and a 7.5 inch circle. Measure that again for you. 7.5 inch circle. That is right there. And then this is our topper. And our topper, we are recycling. Do you see this little edging here? It belongs to the leftover pieces of this die. So the die that we used, when you do a strip, you have the little leftover piece, and do you see that? So I took the little leftover piece, cut it in half, put it on the very edges, and that's how we ended up with our so okay, so let's see what size this is right here so that I can tell you. The black paper is 9 1/4. So I'm going to confuse you a little bit if I tell you this paper here is, yep, 9 1/4. Okay, so this is a perfect square that is 9 1/4. Yes. And then the circle inside of this one needs to be bigger than this circle that we made earlier, because we want that tunnel effect for this. And you can make this in infinite amounts of layers. You can continually go and make them more and more if you'd like, which I was really thinking I needed to stop because it's so pretty. So I like this one. At the bottom is the smaller one, and then on top you're going to have a smaller paper but a bigger circle. Okay, so let's take this one away and bring this over here. And my circle size here is 8.5. Now I do suggest that maybe when you're building your paper that you should maybe practice, make a template for yourself so that you have it for later, because that way I was messing up. I wasn't, you saw that I cut this one wrong. Okay, so here is how that is going to fit right on top. Okay, so that is pretty easy. It's the same technique as the bottom. The size, a circle, smaller size, a bigger circle, and then we've used the leftovers for trim, and then we have a gorgeous little fan, and I doubled the fans so that you can kind of barely see here because I wanted a little bit more on that gold, and use the little fan. I want to say these are the fans from the impression dies. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, and it looks like I have this like this. Okay, so now let's start building this. We flip this over. This has the bookbinding tape on it, because that way I didn't have washi tape with me. So I didn't have any tape to put on this. So that's why that is there, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, now this one is going to go right on top, just like that. And I'm looking for anything special. Nope. And I need to remove the Sudoku tape, bookbinding, bookmaking tape. You see? So now we have not the repositionable tape, but I'm using real tape, and oh, I missed one right here. Okay, now I'm going to use this in here to try to make sure that we're putting everything where we're supposed to. Okay, so this of course is not on the right side, but when we put this down, you can see, you can kind of play with your measurements, and you want just a little smidgen, maybe a little quarter on each side. So that is what I'm looking at to kind of find a place setting for where my paper is going to sit, okay? And again, we're going to use the eyeball method. I think this will be a good spot. Okay, so this is the smaller circle, bigger frame, bigger circle, smaller frame, okay? And then this is going to go on top of that. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, I did use some pop-up dots here because I wanted to really see that definition from the bottom. Of course, we could have done more pop-up dots on this. It also will be perfectly fine if you don't use pop-up dots at all because you want your page flat, and that's perfectly okay. So now let's take off these little pop-up dots, and actually we'll take off one side. Okay, so this side still has the plastic on it, the paper adhesive, and I'm kind of just putting it down and using that to kind of maneuver my paper where I want it to sit. And then we bring it down. Just the eyeball method. I'm not giving this, I don't think it's bad if it's not absolutely perfect. It makes your paper unique to yourself. Okay, and then we bring this down. And look how pretty that is, okay? So, and then what I did is so we have now 3 layers of paper. And what I did was just a leftover piece of the papers that were left, that's this one right here. I flipped it over, which is this gorgeous black and white. And I kind of just made it into a little belt, if that makes any sense. So if you make a little belt, I always like that. You can put a little title right here. It kind of really finishes it off for me. I like to lower my belt a little bit because maybe I want to do something different to it and allow for the picture that's in here to be the best part of it. And I was inspired by my dear friend, Annie Pence. Many of you might know her, and she sent me these absolutely gorgeous die cuts. And isn't that beautiful right here? Oh, and then this hot pink paper. So this inspired me to do something with these dies. So as I'm building this, I'm kind of thinking that I'd like to kind of use this die in this corner. Do you see what I mean? And you can have your little die. I love making the idea of a circle. I did make a page just like this in a square. I'll show you that part later. But the actual circle of the hot air balloon kind of just inspired me to make a circle. So that's why I was bent on having to find a plate to fix it. And then this one also, I think it would be so easy to remove all of these little flowers that I don't know. Yep, just like that. And making our carousel, I don't even think we have to put a belt, making our carousel sit right here. And putting these gorgeous flowers maybe on the other side. Do you see? So I want you to get those dies out that we absolutely love for making cards and turn them into a scrapbook. I think that we can use these big elements into this page. So this is really pretty just like this. You see that? I just love that. So using this and then adding some gorgeous a gorgeous picture of maybe Dell's gorgeous granddaughters would be perfect in here. So something like that, I think, is something that we can think about. So we take this one off and think about doing it. Of course, because it's a hot air balloon, I think it has to go on the top, but there's no reason why it can't go on the bottom if that's where you want it to go. So I think that's really fun to see how different dies for cards work just perfect on our page. And then I have one more that I just got this weekend that is just so much fun. And it doesn't work perfectly, but I just want to show you that what I put together. I did this gorgeous pink one. Of course, I had to make a pink woody wagon with gold trim on the outside. And my next retreat is on the beach, so I immediately thought I needed to make a road trip page. So why can we not have little Woody writing on the bottom of this little page on the way to the beach with a bunch of, I think I need to add some gifts on the top of all our Cricut stuff that we're on our way to our retreat. So I just think that's super fun to think outside of the box and use your card dies for your scrapbooking. I just absolutely love this. Okay, so I have this gorgeous die that came from the Scrapbooking Crop at Home one, and I cut it twice. I cut it once in the gold, and I cut it in this foil pink color. It's the same foil pink color that Annie Pence used here, so I thought it would be a good way to bring that color into this page. And then I doubled it up because when I put it down here, it just goes gold, gold, gold. So I wanted to make the gold stand out. And so I thought maybe a little outline of the pink would help differentiate that. So we're going to go ahead and put this down right in this corner. I think I want to use a pop-up dot. My pop-up dots are still in my to-go container. This is how I traveled with my pop-up dots to my retreat. And so this one looks like it's a 3. I'd like the 2mm ones. Those are just absolutely perfect. So there and there. So we're taking this off, and then I'm bringing it down to this little corner. I think that's perfect. And I'd like to put on this side the flowers kind of like this. I think that is really pretty so that it's not too far in the picture, but just a little bit. I kind of just like to keep that picture the center of attention. I absolutely love all of these stickers, but I do add a little bit extra just in case they fall apart. And then I kind of think I'd like to put a flower on this corner. Maybe right there. That kind of gives it a little balancing act. I realize this flower is smaller, but I still like it just the way it is. Okay, and then this one I put just double adhesive tape on it. I got these on Amazon. They're the Scrap Adhesive Easy Dot. I will add them to my favorites list and put them in. But I'm just putting a little bit, or a lot of it. I'm putting some on this very top. I'd like to be able to remove this. I'd like to be able to remove this and put pictures in. So I am putting only temporary adhesive on this very top portion. And I like that right there. And is that not so cute? Okay, I absolutely love the way that came out. I'm still happy with the way this is going with the three different events here, where we have the tag for the date. We have a gorgeous little hot air balloon. We have some flowers here. I think I need a gold ribbon here. So let's warm up the glue and put a gold ribbon there. And I want to put a little bit of glue on this little gold bow. I thought the whole picture is really, the whole page layout is about gold and the black and the pink, and we've kind of accented here in 3 different corners, pinks. And so now I want to add a little bow, because this is kind of like a little bouquet. So I am adding a tiny bit of hot glue, because that's my favorite thing to do when I'm adding these gorgeous bows. to my Anna Griffin pages. I still have all of my little things packed up in here. So this is another Tiffany bag. And in here I have my little things that I want. And this is kind of like a flourish. Maybe a little gold leaf. So these are things that just inspire me when I start putting things together and adding my final favorite touches. Okay. Okay. Just a little bit of a gold leaf to add a little extra oomph to your page, because the rule is more and more and more is what we're headed for. So this is actually a sticker. I think somebody told me if the back of it is white, then it's a sticker. And this I can easily lift because there's so many layers to this. Okay, that is one right there. So I tucked this one in a lot more because this is a smaller flower, and I'm not going to put anything over here on top. I think this just grounds this area and gives your flower something to attach to. I really love doing that. Okay, so here is our page. I just love the way it's coming out. And this is a gift for my dear friend, so I'm going to get it in the mail and send it to her. I really want to say thank you so much for coming by my channel and supporting me. And subscribe, please. Leave me a thumbs up. It so helps me. And please leave me a comment. I love getting to know all of you. So that is absolutely my favorite thing to do. So please chat with me, talk to me, and I'll talk to you later. See you next week. Bye.